I hope everyone feels the energy to share the and listen, or maybe also share your insight also to have the discussion with our interesting speakers today, Peter and Jessica. And before we go into the main topic today for double cash flow in 12 months with everyone committed. So I want to introduce also myself. Oh, sorry. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, my name is Mayfi Haryanti. I am the event organizer and business development from Agl Consultancy. So everyone who wants to collaborate on the event, or maybe in your organization want to have the speaker from us, or maybe we can create events together, please feel free to connect with me by scan the QR code attached on the screen. And yeah, I would like to also introduce our organization. We are the Agl Consultancy. We are strive for entrepreneurs to drive and to change the way people think, work, and act from the agile way of working. And we want to spark to Indonesian people with three things, which is entrepreneurship, self-organization, and a balanced workplace. And now we also ready to help you with the helping entrepreneurs with the scaling up framework. And then now we already working also together with the scaling up coaches like Peter here today also attending. Thank you, Peter, for your time. And this is our next event. So I want to also invite you to our upcoming next event in 20th October. And by scan this QR code in our page on Equipa page, you can see all of our free event that you can attend. So we can collaborate on and also share the insight and knowledge that you also have to sharing is caring, right? So this is our intention. And then for today, we already have the interesting speaker, Jessica Sukarsa. She is young finance enthusiast and also investor relation manager from Bumi Varta Technology. And Peter van Os. Hi, Peter. Peter is coming from Netherlands. So thank you for your time. And Peter is founder of Scale Up Impact in Netherlands. So without further ado, I would like to ask to Jessica, because Jessica is, when we held the initiate of this event, she really enthusiastic with the finance thing. And a few months ago, she wrote the analysis, the very interesting analysis to have the literacy to Indonesian people about the finance. And yeah, with this related to our topic today, why cash flow is really important. Maybe Jessica can help us and figure it out why this cash flow is really important to a business. And please, Jessica, thank you.
Okay, hi Mayfi, Peter, Equipa team, and hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Equipa for inviting me to this webinar and for making this webinar happen. It's been an honor to be part of the Equipa's webinar series. And for the audience, thank you for joining and attending this event, especially the audience from Indonesia. I know it's already late, especially today is Friday, but you guys chose to join this webinar instead of hanging out and going to the bar. So I really appreciate it. And I hope you can get something from me, both maybe learning or any insight. So yeah, probably let's get started. I will share my screen. Wait. Can you guys see it?
Yeah. All good, yes.
Okay. So today's material is about double cash flow in 12 months with everyone committed. So I will start with introducing myself. So my name is Jessica Sukarsa. I was born in Jakarta, 19 January 1997. So currently I'm 25 years old, and I'm a bachelor of financial management at Prastia Mulia University. And after I finished my bachelor's degree, I work at Astra International as a planning, budgeting, and reporting. After 2 years, I changed my career. I did explore to be an investor relation in PT Mitra Keluarga Karya Sehat, which is a hospital, Mitra Keluarga Hospital. They have around almost 30 hospitals across the nation. I think all Indonesian know about this hospital. And in Mitra Keluarga, I work as an investor relation, both and working as corporate secretary, where I build and maintain a relationship with all existing and potential investors, and also with capital market regulations, conducting like public expos, general shareholders meeting, and etc. After that, I'm lucky to have an opportunity to work at PT Bumi Varta Technology, which is a startup company in geospatial field as an investor relations also up until now. So that's all about me. Let's start about the topic, which is about cash flow. I'm going to share you guys why managing cash flow of your business is very important. So I believe any business in any country, you need to have profit and need to be a sustainable business. Whatever the value of your business, whatever your industry is, these two things are very important for your business. A business must generate profit. If not, I don't think it's called a business. It's called a non-profit organization. Other than getting profit, I think business needs to be sustainable. Don't be a company that makes profit this year but don't know how about the following year. So I think most of the founders or directors or CEOs often know about these two, but they forgot one thing that in the middle of these two, and it is very important to achieve these things, which is how to manage your cash flow. So these three things are very closely related and very important in the continuity of any business. So I will explain about cash flow a bit so you have a better overview about cash flow. So cash flow is divided into three. The first one is operation. Operation, this refers the net cash received from in the form of revenue from sales or service, and it will be less for cash spent on expenses of running the business. So it's from your operational, from your sales minus your cash to all the vendors or to all your suppliers. This is from operation. And second is cash flow from investing. So this refers to cash spent on items to be used over multiple years, such as it's like for your capital expenditure. Maybe you buy something for your equipment, your technology, your investment. So this is the cash go to for investing. And the third one is financing. So this refers if you borrow money from bank or if you have someone invest to your company, this is the cash from financing. So to sum up, operation is from your sales. Investing is the cash to something you invest for example for building. And financing, the cash you get from the investors or the cash you get from the bank loan. So these three things are very important and need to be managed well. But one thing for sure, cash flow from operations should be the backbone of your business. Cash flow to invest or from invest and cash flow from financing will be the supporter to your business. So I will give you this scheme. The first one, if your business have no profit, if you cannot manage your cash flow, you cannot get any funding, you cannot get any profit, so it's definitely a bankrupt. So there's no sustainability of your business. The second one, no profit, but you have positive cash flow. For example, you got the cash from funding, you got the cash from the banks, you got the cash from the investors. It can make your business survive for some time, but it cannot last. It cannot be sustainable. how if you cannot get funding anymore? So I think you cannot just make series A, B, C, D funding, but you don't have a profitable business because it won't be sustainable. Or maybe no profit, but you're good at managing your operational cash flow, for example. It will definitely help and your company can survive for some time, but it cannot be like that always. So it's not sustainable, but it will help. And the third one, you got a good profit, but you cannot manage your cash flow. This is what's very dangerous, I think. So some people think, oh, it's fine. We already got profit. It's okay. But how if you got profit, but the clients haven't paid you? While you need money to run your business to pay to the principal. So it can affect your company to be closed down. You can bankrupt with that. For example, some of the companies, some of the hospitals in COVID condition have a cash bleeding because of uh, they have a profitable business. They treated COVID patients, which is profitable, but the one who paid is who paid for the COVID patients is from the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Health paid around 180 days. So they already treated the COVID patients, but they didn't get the cash. But while they have to pay the principal, the suppliers, so they don't have any cash and they get bankrupt. That's why there are many hospitals on that time that's bankrupt and sell their hospital. And the last one, this is what a healthy company and should be, at least got good profit, good managing the cash flow, and that's how a company can be a sustainable. I know there are lots of factors to be a sustainable business, but I think this is the very least for a company to survive and to run their business. So I think this is a must. A company have to be profit, have to be good at managing their cash flow, and it will result a sustainable business. So I will explain one by one, which is the key cash flow from operations. So this is how much money is flowing into your business. If this number is lower than your profit or it's a negative number, this could be problem. So for example, you got profit, but your cash flow from operation is less than that. It means there's something going on in your cash flow from operation. So sales are obviously the best way to gain the cash flow. So if you're not generating sales, you're not a really business. Of course, saving money in operational expense helps. So it's important to have your budgeting and planning and cut the unnecessary spending. The first key for the cash flow from operation is maximize your sales and accelerate the collection from your clients. So you have the sales and you accelerate the payment from the clients. This is the first key. The second one is cost efficiency. Not cutting all your costs, but your cost needs to be efficient and extend your payment to the vendors as much as you could. The third one is inventory efficiency. So you have to manage your inventory, not too big, not too little, efficient. So this will result a short cash conversion cycle, this is good for managing your cash flow from operation. So I will give you some tips how to implement those things. From revenue side, bootstrap. So this is possible to raise your cash through your sales, not from funding. So you will grow your business purely through revenue. It's a bootstrap mode. If you know MailChimp, which is a big company, they are a software company and they grew without external capital. So they always been a profitable business and they have more than 12 million people using MailChimp. And so they expand themselves with their sales. Second, favorable terms. So you have to review your contract with your clients and what's the payment terms to find a way shorten your cash conversion cycle. So the cycle will begin when the sales and marketing trying to get leads and up and will be end until the cash receive. So this can often take 60 days. So throughout the cycle, the longer you get the money, the bigger your cost. If you can accelerate the cycle, it will be better for your cash flow. Third one, invoice immediately. So make sure you get the contract done, make sure you get the contract signed, and after make your invoice out as soon as possible, that if the work already done. So don't wait until the end of month. Start the payment cycle as soon as possible and ask to be paid within 7 days, for example. Fourth, you can ask for advance payment. So one of the good example is FRS Global. They changed the contract terms so that customer pay a third of the contract value at the beginning. So this produces a much better cash flow profile because we get paid quickly to cover the sales and marketing costs that happen within the contract. Or some company they offer a discount if the client want to pay in advance. This can be some tips also. And for the cost side, first one is cost efficiency. So to bootstrap your business, it is essential to keep operating costs low. So look at ways to eliminate any inefficiencies and improve your business model. Can you reduce the direct costs to increase your gross margin? Can you improve the success rate of your sales and marketing teams? So you need to have a planning and budgeting for all the costs and control that budget. So your company will not lose control, and you know how much cash at least you need for some period of time. Second one is labor efficiency. So to grow your marketing and sales teams, you need to know how is the financial return you get from the marketing and sales team. So what is the gross profit of the new contracts they win compared that happen to win that contract? So how much is the value of the contract compare the cost you have to pay to get that contract? So as a general rule, sales team needs to generate 3 times their costs in order to have enough cash to fund the business. Sales productivity, cost of salespeople, how much sales, and marketing support. You need to know all of that because that impact your cash flow. Third one is shorten your terms of payment to the vendors or suppliers. So if you can, extend as much as possible your payment to the vendor. So for example, you maybe you have 10 suppliers or 20 suppliers, make it like maybe only 5, for example. So you have more bargaining power to your supplier because you buy many things from them, you buy so much, so you can extend your terms of payment to them. And last one is for inventory. As I said before, maximize the efficiency of your inventory so that it's not too many, not too little. You have to see your inventory is as an unproductive money. If there's too much inventory, the money you should be able to use for other things, you cannot. So, but if it's too little, it can affect your sales. So try to be efficient in managing the amount of inventory you have. So check your inventory, identify items that aren't selling well, you manage it. Maybe for items that are not selling well, you can have the inventory more little compared to the sales, compared to inventory that sells very well. So if you're good at managing your cash flow from operational, even if you're not a profitable company, even if your company is not profit yet, it can make your company be profitable faster because you can turn the cash to get more sales, to grow your business and get profit. Okay, now cash flow from finance. So one important thing to remember when we're looking for financing doesn't mean it's better if you have more. You have to determine first if you want some money, for example, $1 million. What will you do with that $1 million? The bigger doesn't mean better. The money must be productive. Don't look as much as funding as possible, but don't know what it is for. We get funds from certain parties. Of course, we must be responsible for the money. What is the money used for? What benefits the parties that give the fund to us they will get? So we have to be responsible for the money that we get. Sorry. The first, use multiple sources of finance. So many entrepreneurs think mostly about raising from VC or private angel investor, but when you scale up, it is faster and more feasible if you get your financing from a combination of equity investors, banks, public funds. So yeah, you have to consider any other source of financing. Second one, improve your equity story. So before seeking external investment, it is important to research the market and talk to your customers and potential shareholders to understand how they think about your business model. So there's no misconception. To improve your equity story, you will not only need to show good potential cash flow, but you also need to tell what is your business value that different compared to other competitors. And the third one is consider loan. So sometimes all a company need is a quick cash flow. So look at other options. Business loan and other financing options are out there. This is more similar like the first one. Invoice factoring, invoice financing are also great ways to get advance payment on outstanding invoices. So it can help your company get the money it deserves earlier than a client is willing to pay. So remember, you should be taking on debt only if it's advantageous for your company. And cash flow from investing. So this includes the money your business used to invest itself and its products. Purchasing or further developing your product is the example for this activity. So this is for your capital expenditure and business expansion. This needs to be done right. Not too much, not too little. You need to keep managing your cash. Don't use all your money for future investment while the cash is not enough for covering your operational business. So my tip for investing is to choose your investment wisely for the growth of your business and what's beneficial for your company. If you get positive cash flow from this activity, it means your investment is making money. But negative cash flow doesn't mean that bad. So it means like you invest in something that maybe will be beneficial for your operational cash flow. So I think these three things are very related. If you have positive cash flow from operation, you can move the cash to investing to expand your business. Investing is for your capex, for the growth of your business in the longer term. Therefore, yeah, your business will be growing and will be bigger. Cash flow from financing also can help your cash flow, So, but it's not sustainable. You need to be responsible of the money you get from other parties. So I think cash flow is really help for your business to survive and grow, and it's the key to be a successful business. So my summary is, good cash flow management can help your company to make profit or become more profitable. My own company itself, Bumi Varta, has not been a profitable company. We are a startup, but we don't play the high valuation game like being a decacorn or unicorn. The first thing that matters to us is making money. Martin is the founder and angel investor. He actually really cares about managing the cash flow. We really efficient our costs. We don't burn the money, and our biggest expense is for investing, building IT infrastructure, collecting data, and we're not constantly trying to raise money, but really try to manage our cash flow as much as possible to get our sales, to be profit from our operational, to get the cash from our operational. So we have never and hopefully will not do massive layoff to our employees. And I know although Bumi Varta is taking longer than expected, but we are definitely growing slowly. Because I'm working as an investor relation, I need to be responsible to all my investors. So I need to know what is my company right now, how is it going. And when I first choose to join Bumi Varta, I know what's Martin's vision I know what's business model he wants for the company. So that's why I want to join Bumi Varta. The plan is to conduct a proper IPO where the company is profitable, sustainable, stable, not an IPO whose price drops after that and just exit strategy. And with poor cash flow management, even profitable company can go bankrupt. So yeah, as I said before, when I work at Mitra Keluarga, many hospitals at that time went bankrupt because of COVID condition. They treated COVID patients, which is profitable, but the payment from the government takes very long. So that's why they made profit, but no cash flow. They went bankrupt and they sold their company. So yeah, I think this good cash flow management is very important for your business. And last one, I just have quotes. This is from Michael Dell. We were always focused on our profit and loss statement, but cash flow was not a regular discussed topic. It was as if we're driving along, watching only the speedometer when in fact we were running out of gas. And one more, which is from Richard Branson. Never take your eyes off the cash flow because it's the lifeblood of business. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I like your quote at the end. I just saw that. Yeah, it's true. Because normally people only focus on the people, focus on the marketing and sales, but they forget to manage the cash flow. And yeah, related to discussion that Bumi Varta has, that they are in the journey of the scaling up. And Jessica already explained about how Bumi Varta in the journey of the scaling up, managing their cash flow. And we already here have Peter van Os, the scaling up coach. He's the expert helping the companies like Bumi Varta's, right, in the Netherlands. And Peter also has the interesting framework with the scale up impact. So yeah, Peter will also share how is the cash flow perspective in the scaling up, and how's you helping the company like Bumi Varta. Please, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, AKPR, for organizing this event. And of course, thank you for the attendees to be here. So I am switching to my presentation, which is looking at cash, or better cash flow, from a scaling up perspective. And it might be a little bit surprising, but the theme is more cash flow is better decision making. So it's not only about more money, it is also about making better decisions. So a very brief introduction of myself. My name is Peter van Os from the Netherlands, but my first company was in Scotland, in the UK, and I attracted a lot of VC money, venture capital money, 15 million euro. And I think it was a great story, and it was not sustainable, as Jessica mentioned, because we were not able to get the profit right. So we started with a huge bank account statement, and we ended up not bankrupt, fortunately, but we burned a lot of cash. And interestingly, this is for me very important, because there is a difference between cash, which is at the bank, and there is cash flow, which comes from operations. And this is where scaling up as a methodology comes in. But let's first do some misconceptions. What we hear with scaling up, when we come and do the cash module, then they say, yeah, nee, you need to go to the finance department. Cash is a topic for bookkeepers. And that is not true. Everyone, really everyone in the company, and I'll show you later, can contribute to a positive cash flow, or can burn cash, but you don't want to have that. The other misconception is, yeah, but the accountant is an expert. And maybe the accountant is an expert, but primarily in making annual reports and not advising on cash flow and looking ahead. So what is on the horizon? Because that's the other misconception, and the last misconception for today. Financial reporting can predict the future, and this is absolutely wrong. And you need to be aware of that. Don't look at the financial reporting to see how your company will do in the future. However, of course, look at cash flow, because that will be a predictor for the future. So what is the scaling up perspective on cash? First, cash flow is not the same as cash. Cash flow comes from, for example, operations, as Jessica says, and I would even say it comes from happy customers. And cash flow is more worth than cash. We believe that happy customers are the best source of cash flow. So you can get cash and cash flow from several sources, subsidies, and other things, but happy customers that love to pay you and do repeat purchasing is the best source of cash flow and the most sustainable. And I'll show you, every single employee in your company or your organization can contribute to cash flow. So what is scaling up then? Scaling up is a methodology for growing your business. And it's a methodology created by Vern Harnish. And the title of Scaling Up book is How a Few Companies Make It and Why the Rest Don't. And you see the growth tools on the right side. In that growth tools, there is a couple of, I think 15, 16 tools, which are all very practical. You can start, if you read them, you can start applying those in your business immediately. So it's scaling up, it's very practical. There are more than 80,000 companies worldwide that are using it. And I've been a scaling up coach since 2008. And yesterday we helped the 988th company in Europe with scaling up. Apart from a lot of practical tools in scaling up, the other interesting thing of scaling up is that everything is on one page. It's called the one-page strategic plan, and also cash plays a role there. Scaling up is so convinced about cash that there is a brand promise, and the brand promise is double your cash flow within 12 months. If you apply scaling up in the business, then you are guaranteed to double your cash flow within 12 months. And I'll give you an example that was even more than doubling the cash flow. And that is almost free cash, because it's cash flow that you generate with your business. And another success factor in scaling up is the 40 rule. So the companies that are most sustainable have a 20% profitability and a 20% growth. And that's not the 20% profitability is probably not for every company. Retail, for example, applicable, but then even the 40 rule still holds, because then you need to make a little bit more growth. The cash component is one of the 4 decisions in scaling up. And the first decision is people. It's not cash, but people. People are the most valuable asset in your business. You can also look at it from a cost side, and there is certainly cost involved. But if with the labor efficiency, and there is a tool in scaling up the labor efficiency ratio, if you manage the people well, and you have the right people in the right seat, then it helps with your success and with cash. And with the right people in the right, Yes.
Sorry, are you presenting something, because the share screen is not there yet?
Okay, I am presenting, and I
Okay.
have sheets. My apologies.
Yes, okay.
So
Sorry.
you have, and you have not seen all
Yeah,
the nice slides. Oh, my apologies.
exactly. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let me look, because there is. I'll show you some. Let me see. Can you see it now?
Yes, we'll see now.
I'll
Thank you,
take you back
Peter. Yeah.
to Scaling Up. It's the book with growth tools. And one of the precious things is the one-page strategic plan. But let's focus on cash and scaling up and cash, because the one success factor and even a brand promise is double with scaling up. If you apply scaling up, you will double your cash flow within 12 months. It's a guarantee. And the other thing, which is not a guarantee, but is a success factor, is the 40 rule. It's 20% profitability and 20% growth. So where does cash sit in the scaling up framework? And it all starts with people, the right people in the right seat, which, if you do the labor efficiency right, is all about generating cash. And by the way, if you have the wrong people on the company, it will drain your cash. So with the right people in the right seat, doing the right things, that is strategy, and doing the things right, which is execution, that leads to cash and cash flow. And this is like a flywheel, because with the right amount of cash flow, you can grow your company and you can hire the right people. If you have too little cash flow, not enough cash flow, then you might end up not hiring people, or you might end up hiring people that are not the people you want, but they are a little bit cheaper. So let's go for that. But then in the end, it will compromise your organization. So the essence of cash flow is that it is really about cash, and it is a fuel for growth. So no cash flow and no cash, it's game over. Or on the other hand, if you have cash flow, there is fuel for growth. But maybe even more interesting is, if you have the cash flow right, then you can make the right decisions. If you are low on cash flow, you can't make the right decisions. You can't hire someone that you really need to hire. You can't fire someone you really need to fire. So let's discuss some starting points. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. And cash is really a fact. Profit is an opinion. With one company, you can have two profit numbers, and you may choose. With cash, it's like, show your bank statement and this is what you have. And nowadays, with all the changes in the world, we say 10% profit for most companies is the new break even. So don't aim for 0%, because you do need to do a innovation. You need to adapt to everything what is happening in the world. So I'll share three tools with you, which are part of the scaling up. There is more, but the cash acceleration strategies is very practical and involves everyone, really everyone in the company. And the thing here is, everything is a process, and the question is, can we make it faster, better, or different? And some of the processes Jessica already discussed, like marketing and sales, or operations, delivery, or invoices and payment, which is the operations in total, where you can say, okay, let's see whether we can make it faster. Can we, from a lead to a deal, can we make it from 10 months to 7 months? If we can, it dramatically improves the cash flow. Can we deliver not in a week, but in 48 hours? Then we can send out the invoice earlier. So there is a couple of tools which makes it very practical. And this is great to do with your team, not your finance team, but your operations team. And so you have also the production and stock cycle, and sometimes also the HR cycle. Can we onboard new people better and faster? If we can, they are more productive faster. So with every cycle, can you make it better, faster, or different? I'll give you a brief example of a Dutch company, which is an outsourcer, 7.2 million revenue. And what they did was they sent invoices, and the invoice of January services was sent at the end of January. And it was always almost the same. What happened with this scheme is that the payment was much later. My apologies. In April. Could we make that different? Could we say, okay, let's send the invoice not the end of January, but on the 1st of January, because we almost certainly know what it is. Payment will be much faster. And yes, if there is a little difference, let's send another invoice then later. Interestingly, one action was this. They were afraid to do that because they said, okay, maybe customers will leave us. And interestingly enough, none of the customers left, but they gained 1.2 million in cash flow, not going to a bank, not going to VCs, not going to the shareholders, but just to send the invoice not at the end of January, but the beginning of January. So I love this example because it's very practical how you can raise money without outside sources. Michael Dell, Jessica mentioned him, yes?
Peter, sorry again, the presentation is not moving, it's freezing. Or it's only on my screen? Maybe anyone can also experience the same, or it's only me?
No moving, only
yes,
not moving.
Not moving, the presentation. Yeah.
Only single page.
And on
Can we see other?
Page number 6, Peter. Slide number 6.
It's still on the slide, yeah. Number 6.
I'll try
again. Sorry.
My apologies for this. Do you see now example contractor?
Yes, we see now.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is the one that they sent the invoice not on at the end of January, but the beginning of January, and the payment was then much earlier. And with this, they raised 1.2 million in cash flow just by sending the invoice earlier. And sometimes there was a little difference in January, so they send then a small delta invoice later. The other example is Dell. Dell, when Michael Dell started, he produced computers and sent those to shops to be resold. With that, it was like a huge number of days, the overall cycle. Then what they did was, and I think it's 64, but I can't see on my screen. What they did was, you, as a customer, you buy the computer, you pay the computer, and then we produce the computer. And then the cycle time was shortened to -21. And this is interesting because with -21, it means that you get a dollar out of your business 21 days before you put a dollar into it, which I love. Mostly it's like you put a lot of dollars into your business and you hope that it will come out sometimes later, like 64 days. And now you can have really a money generating machine. So the cash acceleration strategy is one tool. The other is the power of one. And Jessica already touched on that. It's a tool which defines 7 levers: selling price, volume, purchasing price, overhead cost, debtors, creditors, and stock. And with scaling up, everything is about focus. So the first reaction might be, let's raise the prices. Let's sell more, so increase the volume. Let's decrease the purchase price. Let's decrease the overhead cost. Let's decrease debtors. Let's extend the creditor payment, what Jessica suggested, and let's decrease stock. But the interesting thing, and it always works, there is this tool, you put everything in it, and then you change every single item 1%. And increasing selling price with 1% must be doable, right? And it always shows that only 1 or 2 out of the 7 levers is really making a difference. So spend only time on those levers that make the difference. And this tool shows you and focuses you on where to put your attention. So which 1 or 2 matters most now. The third tool is, and the last tool for today, is the profitability analysis. And I like this one. It's a scaling up tool. And what it does is look at your proposition and not only the products, but also customers, but also countries, and see, do the analysis, do an 80-20% rule, and see what really matters. And you will get always, I guarantee you will get a picture like this. There is one high flyer. This can be a customer, a group of customers, a country, a product, a channel, a partnership. You have a medium flyer. You have one which is maybe okay. And you will always have 1 or 2 which are draining profit. And here's the thing. The company will say, yeah, but it's a service product. Yeah, but we have serviced this. We have sold this for so long. We love the product, like number 5. And it's not adding to the profit. And it's not adding to the profit, but it's also costing us energy because there will be complaints. We need to sell it. We need to ship it. And what we have seen is that if you have the courage to make a choice and say, okay, we are removing the bleeders, it will increase dramatically your cash flow, your profitability, and your cash flow. So with scaling up cash, there is a couple of practical tools. I think in the cash section, it's probably 8 or 9. I've shown you very briefly at high level 3. And my apologies, I've not shown you. I've told you because I had a problem with the sheets. But what I like about scaling up cash is that it's from an operational perspective and not like, okay, go to a VC and solve your problem. No, how can we increase cash flow in such a way that we serve customers better and that we shorten cycles? And this is then not like, this is driving the cash flow. You are and not only you, but all the employees in the company are mastering and driving the cash flow. And so that really everyone, and I mean everyone, can contribute, and with that, everyone is committed. So my only hope then is happy scaling with lots of cash flow.
Suaranya belum kedengaran, Mbak.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Thank you, Peter, for the elaboration. It's really like enlighten us about how we manage the cash flow, and then how important it is to everybody knows and committed on it to driving the business growth. So we open for Q&A session. So anyone who wants to ask or share something on your journey, please you can raise hand and mute. Oh, okay,
Andy.
sure, Andy. Yes, sure.
Okay. Thank you, Peter, for the nice presentation. Also, Mbak Jessica. Yeah. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. I only have a single question regarding the efficiency, because usually when we work with efficiency, it will give some what you call in because I'm my profession is a project manager. So when we do the efficiency, everybody sometimes what do you call
Disappointed.
Not disappointed, menderita gitu ya.
Suffer.
Suffer. So for us, I think it better use optimization, not efficiency. So what do you think about that, Jessica and Peter?
Maybe Peter first.
I think it is maybe wording, but I believe in efficiency, and I'll tell you why. With professional services, the labor efficiency ratio, as we call it, is 3. So if the salary is 1, then this person should contribute 3. Why this is important is when the company grows, then what happens is the labor efficiency ratio will go up, and at sometimes the person will burn out. So it might go to 4 or 5, and that means that the person is working too hard. So we use the labor efficiency to see what is the optimal, and when are we extending or stressing persons. So the optimization would be like it's around 3, maybe 3.5. But if it is when it's 5 in a professional services company, then we are stressing out and it's not sustainable.
Okay. Hi, Pandi. Thank you for the question. So I think I'm agreed to Peter. I think it's about the wording about optimization and efficiency, but I can see where you're going. Maybe for optimization, it means you don't cut something, but you optimize what you have, something like that, right? But if efficiency, you cut something. I think that's what you're trying to say. So I think both works, whatever is working for your company, but different angle. So for optimization, you optimize what you have and have a bigger sales for that. But for efficiency, you're cutting your costs, something like that. So I think both are works. It means efficient, both of optimization for your what you have already, or you cut something so it will be more efficient. Both are works for any company, I think, to optimize, to make your company better, to make your company grow faster. I think it's okay if you prefer optimize what you already have rather than cutting something. But as long as what I mean is, don't see the number, see the ratio, because both optimization or efficiency is looking for the ratio. So
Yes.
whatever works to your company, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I just want to give you example, because if we talking about efficiency, everything we said should be the less cost one, the cheapest one. But
Yeah.
not always the cheapest one make the productivity higher. So this is, I mean, efficiency optimization. So we are not choosing the cheapest one, but we are choosing the what do you call it? Berimbang, what's called balance between, yeah. So not they're very cheap, but they can produce more. So this is we call optimization. This is my point of view, Peter. Yes.
I agree with you. We call it a ratio. So yeah, so I see your point. Thank you, and we are on the same line. But someone from Indonesia and someone from the Netherlands talking about a word, I think we are on the same line.
Yeah, I think we're on the same line. For me, efficiency is not having the cheapest one, but not good quality. But it's like having the best one with the best price with the best quality.
Okay.
So it's it's a
answered the
ratio, I think.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Andi. Okay, we have another question for from Pak Arisedo Kartodo. Pak Arisedo, do you want to talk directly? Okay, also I will read it for Peter and Jessica. So what is the indicator that company doesn't need an investment anymore? So maybe who wants to start first, Jessica or Peter?
Okay, maybe I'll answer first.
Okay,
So thank you, Pa Arisano, for the question. So as I said before, if you want money from funding, doesn't it an investment? Is it like to invest something or an investment coming to your company? Can it be more clear? Is it mean need investment from other party to your company, or what you mean is the company doesn't need to invest anymore? Investment to our company, so don't need funding for your company. Okay, so I think if you have enough cash, enough cash, enough money to expand your business with your own, you don't need any investment from other company, because as I said before, the funding you get from other party, you need to be responsible for it. It doesn't mean you get the more money you get better. Doesn't mean like that. You need to be responsible of your money. What is it for? If you don't know what to do with that money, it is not good. So if you can expand your business with your capital, your own capital, I think it's already good. You don't need any investment from other party. But if you still need another party to invest to your company to expand your business, I think it's okay. But as I said before, you need to be responsible to other party, because it's not your money. You need to know where to expand and how's the return for them. Thank you.
Peter, you want to also answer about that question?
Thank you for the question, because I think it's an excellent question. And with the positive cash flow exceeding the cost that you have, you are always safe. The only point that you would need an external investor or loan or in external cash is if you need to do an investment in what we call CapEx, capital expenditure. So you need to buy a machine, and sometimes you can't finance the machine from operational cash flow. Then outside investment or outside loan, or there are several sources, might be an option. But as long as operational cash flow is positive and exceeding the cost that you have, you don't need any external investment.
Thank you, Peter and Jessica. Pak Ariseno, is that answering your questions? Okay. Okay, we have another question from Pak Wahyu Widayat. Pak, please unmute.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening. Thanks, Peter, and also Ibu Jessica for the nice sharing. Apologize, I maybe joined late, but I see that there are a lot of interesting points that I noticed from your presentation. So my role currently is operational. So I will ask from the operational standpoint. I really interested with the point where you said invoice immediately. I agree with that. But I have some situation where we do have an invoice directly when we sending our material or good to our customer. However, from the customer standpoint, they will calculate the term of payment not based on the invoice that we create invoice date, but they will calculate based on the invoice that the material that they receive on their site, on their warehouse, let's say.
Hello, Pak Wahyu. Sorry, your
And
hello, Pak Wahyu. Are you still there?
it is sometime will be issue where we sending the material maybe out of somewhere that maybe voice.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
is
Sorry.
yes. Now, anyone also hear? Yeah, now is okay. Can you repeat again, Pak? Because it was lagging. It's or it's only me? Jessica, do you also hear, or Peter? Can you hear?
No, I cannot hear. The voice is breaking. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Pak Wahyu, so the voices is breaking. So if you maybe to reduce the lagging, maybe can turn off the video, just raising the voices. Yeah, maybe it's better, the signal. Can you test again? Hello, Pak?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
You can
okay. Sorry
repeat the
about that.
question,
So,
sorry.
okay. Better now?
Yes,
No?
it's better.
Is
It's
it better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Yeah. Of the operational. Yeah. In terms of the operational standpoint, when we invoice immediately, in the other hand, customer will calculate a payment based on the material received. So there is a gap. Can be couple days, can be weeks. So that's something challenge, and maybe Ibu Jessica or Peter have experience on that. And secondly, about how managing the inventory. I know Ibu Jessica have a very good point on the managing the inventory. But this current situation, inventory have disruption, global supply chain. So we have uncertain when we will receive from maybe let's say from our source of supply. However, we need to deliver the material on time to the customer, and somehow this will be stuck on how we can manage our inventory, because we need to safety stock, but in the other hand, we need to reduce our volume inventory. So this is something that might be challenged in this current situation as well, maybe. So maybe Peter or Jessica can share with us.
Okay, Peter, you want to go first?
I don't have any experience to share with you on the inventory question, but maybe on the materials received payment, and that it will take weeks. Maybe you have something, you find the experience with the outsourcer, which is a different business, useful, where they send the invoice earlier, and required payment earlier, and send then what we call a delta invoice, so the difference. So you ship 1,000, but you invoice, they ordered 1,000, you invoice 1,000, they then count the real what they received, but they paid 1,000, and then you can send an additional invoice or a credit invoice. So it's more about a commercial agreement where you say, okay, this is how we calculate and this is our commercial conditions. Then that would be my experience sharing.
Okay, let me add a bit, Pak Wahyu, and thank you for the question. So first about the invoice, the payment will be paid after they receive the materials, right? Okay, first of all, I think if you have a contract with them and change the contract to, I don't know, maybe they will pay if you already invoice them, it will be better. But if it's not possible, can you make faster the delivery to the customer so the payment will be faster also? I think it's from operational side. If you can make it faster to deliver to the client, they will pay faster also. And then for the inventory, you said that you already prepare for the safety stock. So I think the safety stock is already enough for your inventory management. It's already good. You know what is the safety stock. You already calculate its material. What is the safety stock for this material? This material is already a good, very, very good start. And besides the safety stock, you can put away other inventory. But if you say that there's a problem with the global chain supplier, I'm not sure about that because it's a macroeconomic. But if your company already implement the safety stock, the inventory management from your side of the company, I think your company already do the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica and Peter. Pak Wahyu, is it enough with the answer?
Yeah, thanks, to Jessica and Peter.
Thank you. Okay, we have another question from Dinda here. Dinda.
Hi, hello, Peter and Jessica. So the question is about the ratio of equity and debt. Definitely, startup or company will need the cash boost from debt or convertible debt from the investor, right? So how we can manage the company to be healthy and manage the number of the debt, but we can survive by the debt itself. Thank you.
Okay, Peter, you want to go first?
No, I'm going to ask Jessica to go first because I have an opinion, but not relevant experience to share an opinion.
Okay. So Jessica, you can go first.
But I think it's a very good question. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's no I think different industry is kind of different. For the debt equity ratio, you can compare with your competitors. There's the benchmark. Usually, not like the company. The company with the same industry have like the benchmark for the debt to equity ratio, but for like the general rule, debt to equity ratio is 30. Wait, it's 66. 2 per 3, 2/3 is the debt and 1/3 is the equity. It's like the general rule. It's but I don't think you can implement to any company that to all company. So I think case by case. But the general rule is maximum is 2/3 is debt, 1/3 is equity.
Interesting answer. Dinda, do you have any comments on that or It's already clear?
Yeah. If the industry is not really familiar or is not really famous, right? I mean, not every industry is announced what the debt and equity ratio they had. How we can benchmark our company to the competitor? Maybe you can have any info. Is there any application or a website to cover that?
Basically, if you want to be very safe, the debt equity ratio has to be 1. So your equity can cover your debt. That's the safest. But some of yeah, that's the safest one. But some of the general rule, most of the companies, they can go 2/3 from debt and 1/3 is from equity. But if you don't have any benchmark for other company in the same industry, 1 is the safest.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Peter, do you want to add on that? Or comments?
No.
Okay. So any other questions to Jessica and Peter? Okay. Maybe anyone want to share something also? Okay, there is Niam here. Maybe it's a bit out of material, but curious about the economic issue coming in the next year. How we as the startup prepare our cash. I think this is the most issue that we find on the news lately. And also we already have some startups also having the massive layoff, let's say, Peter, in our business ecosystem in Indonesia. So maybe this is also concern from Niam, how to prepare the cash flow during the crisis. Maybe Peter want to start or just want to start first?
You can go first, Peter.
Yes, thank you for the question. I think it's very relevant. I'm from Europe, and many of the startups have exactly the same question. It is also interesting because if you ask 20 experts this question, you will get 25 different answers. My take on it is to make sure, and is to use the to make sure that your cash flow, your cash and position and cash flow is as optimal as possible. So for example, what we do, we are in services, we don't invoice projects, we invoice on a monthly basis, like retainers and subscriptions. So try to make the cycles as short as possible, because if there is a recession and if it is going to hit us, then we need the most cash flow to be agile and find a different way of selling or maybe laying off. In Europe, laying off people is very expensive, so it costs cash before releasing the cash. But I think it's a very relevant question also here in Europe. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Jess, do you want to expand? Maybe you
just add a bit. I'm really agree to Peter. There's many ways to answer this question, and I'm not sure my answer, my explanation can answer you. But I know this is hard time for all the startups, because all the venture capitals are now tightening their budget to invest on the startups, while the startup mostly are not profitable yet, and they depends the cash flow from the funding. So I can say is, if you can
Hello, Jess. I think your voice is a bit lagging. Jess?
Sorry.
Yeah, your voice
Sorry.
is a bit lagging. I think maybe you can turn off the video too.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I will just explain a bit. I think I'm agree with Peter. There are many ways to answer this question. I'm not sure that my explanation can help you, but because the VC now is tightening their budget to invest to startups, and there are many startups that are going to bankrupt. So I think if you do your best to efficient your budget, your expense, I mean, to do much possible. So and be responsible for the funding that it's,
Hello, Jess?
I think it's cracking, yeah.
Yes, a bit cracking a bit.
Yeah, that's I think it's okay. Peter already explained well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. So, Niam, are you having the optimism on this? To I hope the both answer can maybe like give you optimism to facing the next year.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I think we already almost in the end of our session. So maybe we can close our Q&A session. So if you still have questions, or maybe you want to have comment and feedback, maybe you can reach us later on, and then follow our social media, and also connect with Jessica and Peter later on. So before our closing this event, I would like also to share the ebook from Peter. Peter writing the scaling up workbook to maybe some of you want to know about scaling up framework, because in this Peter presentation only focus on cash right tonight, Peter, but you still have people, strategy and execution in the other part. So you can scan this QR code directly, and then you can download the book. And also in this November, Peter will come to Indonesia, and we'll also plan to have the Scaling Up Masterclass on the 3rd November. So tomorrow is the end of date to have the early bird ticket to go with Peter Masterclass. So if you interested to apply, submit ticket and register on this event, please scan the QR code, and then you can contact us later also in my number to have the discount, especially for the attendees tonight, additional discount from early bird. And we also would like to hear your feedback about this event. So, and I hope you can join in the next of our event on the Scaling Up series on 20th October, and also join Peter Masterclass. And hopefully we will have another collaboration with Bumi Farta and Peter also to have another topic. Yeah, just and then thank you for everyone who already joining the event until the end of the session on this Friday night. So I'll see you soon in the next event. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, Peter, for your time and share knowledge to us. It's really powerful and insightful for us. Thank you so much.
Thank
you,
you
everyone.
guys. Thank you, Mefi. Thank you, Peter. Bye-bye.
Thank you.